Hanging out in our Inside College Football studios here in New York. A lot of great games this weekend, including the rivalry renewed with Miami hosting Notre Dame. AT, you were in this thing. Where'd you fit on that timeline?
I was there the last regular season game they played in 1990 before taking a couple decades off. And I was backing up Tim Ryan, who was the starter. I'd worked my way up to number 2. He's playing against a guy, Russell Maryland. And about the middle of third quarter, it was a really hot day. Tim comes off and starts relieving his lunch, let's say.
Yeah.
And I was like, dear Lord, please let Timmy be okay. Don't make me go in there and play against number 67 Russell Maryland. Please, 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 please. He was Erlin and not feeling well. And as a backup, there was a chance I was going to have to go play. Luckily, God answered my prayers, and Tim was able to go back to the game. I stayed Russell Maryland free as a true freshman. It was good. It was good.
That's your best memory?
That's my best memory of Miami, yeah.
And prayers up to our
honestly,
boy,
the
Tim
only time
Ryan.
in my life I ever prayed to not go to the game was that moment.
Prayers up to our homeboy Tim Ryan.
Yep.
There you go. What do you guys think of this matchup?
I think it's going to be a physical one. I look at this running game of Notre Dame. I think they're the best in the nation. Everyone talks about Penn State, as they should, but they've got a three-headed monster, and all these guys rushed for over 6 yards per carry a season ago. But Miami's defense, you got Blay and Scott in the interior, Messidor and Bain on the outsides. If they can control the line of scrimmage against a heck of a good offensive line of Notre Dame, they've got a great shot of winning.
I really like what Carson Beck is walking into at Miami with the toys on the outside, an offensive line that can more than protect him. I think Miami's offense is actually better than last year, and that's saying with Cam Ward at quarterback.
Yep.
Carson Beck throwing the ball will make a gigantic difference starting this week.
People forget that Carson Beck just 2 years ago was a 72% passer for Georgia. A year ago, that fell underneath 65%, and everybody blamed him. And yet Georgia had dropped more passes than any team in the FBS. I know Carson Beck has been in the news for things he'd rather not be in the news for, social media issues and maybe some questioning of his leadership. But if he gets all that together, and my hope is that he will, he stands in the pocket as tall and as strong as anybody in the country, and he's got a ability to make plays when they need to be made. I mean, that overtime thriller against Georgia Tech, he made a couple of passes down there, or Georgia's not even in that game, and they end up winning. So I like this position for him against a true or brand new freshman quarterback in CJ Carr. He may have gotten a couple snaps last year, but he's brand new to this kind of arena, this kind of start to a season. I just think Marcus Freeman wisely is going to be playing it very close to the vest. I like where Miami is getting out of the box with an experienced signal caller.
The difference in experience at quarterback is one of the big storylines, of course, coming into this thing. Let's hear from both coaches now before the guys make their picks.
In terms of game one, what to expect, you prepare your players to play within your system as best you can, and you dig deep into the stops of their coordinators. So what you don't know and the uncertainty, you have all summer to find your best way to figure it out and prepare your team.
There's something about going on the road, man. It's you against the world. It's, your group, right? There's no distractions. It's just you guys. And you're taking your show on the road and versus a great opponent at night. What a way to start college football season.
And, of course, Notre Dame was a win away from winning the whole thing. But Marcus Freeman, it feels like he's a made man now.
It's funny. Before there's no doubt. Before the USC game, I asked him if he was as ready as he thought he was when he took the job. He's like, absolutely not. I think last year's success, and they were not a game away at the end of the year. They were a quarter away. They started marching their way back against Ohio State late in that game. So their confidence is sky high. In this game, the one thing that Carson Beck doesn't have that Cam Ward does have that's not production related, it's mobility. Think back to last year, how we saw Cam Ward innovate. There was a reason for that. Guys weren't open, pocket was breaking down. If that's the case with Carson Beck, who's a statue back there and can stand in there tall. I think it's a much longer afternoon. I believe Notre Dame's front seven has what it takes to be able to stop the run game and apply pressure and nullify that difference and the advantage that Beck has over the young Carr.
All right, so you're making your pick for Notre Dame. I think we knew that was going to happen.
I think we could have just cut to that.
Yeah, just
Saved a lot of time.
Saved a minute and a half.
Just go get your leprechaun uniform.
Oh, Michelele.
Who wants to strike?
Listen, I give credit to Marcus Freeman not turning around, but overcoming the loss to NIU and all the way to a title opportunity. And they've upgraded that roster. There is speed now at Notre Dame. I think there's a little bit more at Miami currently than there is at Notre Dame. So I'm going to go with Miami. This defense, that front seven, if they can make any hay against this offensive line, which I agree with you, AT, they bad to the bone. I mean, those guys, they were thrown into the fire season ago at the A&M game, or even prior to that, they had attrition in camp, and they fared well. I think Miami has an edge. If Beck can stay upright and he can hit these newfangled receivers they have there now in Coral Gables, Miami wins.
I think the fact that Riley Leonard is gone and he was such a run threat added to the ability for guys like Love and Price to make the big plays that they did, just because you have to have an extra guy in the box, and all of a sudden when you break through, there's nothing there, right? They've had those long runs. This remains to be seen if CJ Carr can have that element to his game. I know Kenny Minchie was considered the more athletic of the two guys trying to get that job, and it turned out that CJ got the job because he's a heck of a passer. And I'm sure he's going to be terrific, but he's brand new. They're going to play it again. Close to the best. I'm going to take Miami. And remember, Miami beat Florida in that opener last year and looked good doing it, so Mario Cristobal will have his team fresh. In a home game environment, give me the Canes.
Yeah. We're all old enough to remember when home field advantage was an issue in South Florida.
Yeah.
Where you'd go to play Miami at the Orange Bowl, or even
I played there, and they only beat me 66-7. Not that I remember.
This place is not quite the advantage.
No.
I mean, that's not even a stretch. It's not even close. But I think Carson Beck will be. He's a better passer, I think, than Cam Ward. He does not know how to run to pass like Cam Ward does, but he's a better thrower.
And you know what? There's probably going to be a lot of Notre Dame fans there, too.
There'll be plenty of Notre Dame fans.
So they'll help fill it up as well. Two more top 10 schools going at it on this fine first weekend, extended weekend. They're both Tigers. They both say home is Death Valley. We got LSU going to Clemson. We got two of the top returning quarterbacks in the country. What do you need to see from these QBs, and who's your pick on this one?
Just like I think that one in Columbus is going to be low scoring, I think this one's going to be high scoring. I think the offenses are going to rule the day, even though I know Tom Allen and that Clemson defense are thought of and revered given what they have coming back. I'm going to lean on the offenses. I love Nussmeier. I'm going to go with LSU, that version of Tiger.
I'm going with that Clemson version of Tiger because this is a complete offense. We'll see who fills that running back spot with Maffa now in the NFL. But defensively, they got everything you would want at each level, and they can ball out. I think it's going to be too much for the LSU Tiger to stop this offense.
Yeah, the home Death Valley is going to be hard to beat. They'll come running down that hill. That place will be going crazy. That's going to be a fun scene to see. It is just unbelievable to go into Clemson when they're playing like that. Yeah. I think Dabo will be ebullient, and I believe Lugubrious will be on the other side with Brian Kelly.
All the focus is going to be on the quarterbacks, but to me, these mega games, it comes down to supporting cast. Yep. Who's got the best supporting cast around these guys? And in this particular game, Clemson's front seven with TJ Parker and Peter Woods, these dudes wreak havoc. I believe that they're going to have some success against a talented but young offensive line for LSU that has to replace both their tackles who are now in the NFL. With that crowd noise, we all know, fellas, in camp, which side of the ball develops first and fastest. It's the defense. You're ready earlier. I just think that's going to be too much for LSU to overcome.
Remember the last time LSU went to South Carolina? They went there and they beat South Carolina last year after falling like 17 points behind and found a way. There's something about going back to that same state you're going to feel good about.
Really? South Carolina gave them a lot of help, too, in that ball.
Not even the same opponent, but just the
fact that you're going back there in a big
The air?
enthusiastic crowd. It's just, you're going to feel good about it. I'm just telling you.
Different air in those cockaboos.
Why are you arguing with me, Zucker?
It was just a new bit of reasoning from you.
There's no train cars in
Going to
Clemson.
the
No.
upstate part of South Carolina. Okay. That's it for us. We're here all season long with Inside College Football.